Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of Fake Therapy. If you don't know by now, which you probably already do, my name is Maria Womack, and I'm the host of this whole little thing going on. How is everything going with me lately? Pretty good. I've been trying to keep things going with the podcast, and I've gotten a lot of really nice feedback from people, which isn't expected at first, but it's surprising and really nice to hear all of the people that are reaching out to me about it, saying that either it's just like really entertaining to them or they could relate to it on some personal level. This whole thing is making me closer to a lot of people that I never really had the confidence to go up and try to be friends with before for no reason, which makes me glad that I started this whole thing. The love has been undeniable. It's been great. And it makes me feel great doing it. I made an Instagram for Fake Therapy recently, and some attempt to market and advertise myself, which is really weird for me to think about it that way. But it's something that you have to do. You definitely have to keep reminding people that you're working on something and that you exist, and keep the audience engaged, which is very unnatural for me, but I'm trying. So I'm doing that. What else is going on with me? I came up with this idea one day. If you don't know, my boyfriend Javin is very talented. He's very musical as well. He plays a lot of instruments, and he's a great lyricist. I was like, what if we did a project where I sing, but you write all the lyrics and you play all the instruments? And maybe we could just make it an internet thing. Maybe we could just do that. I'm kind of scared to play a show, but I've also always wanted to sing. I want to sing. So he was like, I have this vault of lyrics and songs that you could try to learn. So I'm trying to learn that now. And maybe I'm going to get into music, guys. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Because I can't write a song. I'm having trouble writing a song every time I try. My brain doesn't really work musically as far as writing, but I do want to sing, so how's that going to work? I'm trying to do a project with him, so I'm hoping that me talking about it just now will put it into the universe, and then people will start asking me when I'm going to finally do it, when we're going to finally do it, and then I'll be forced to do it. But I'm trying to learn these songs now that I'm pretty excited about. And people have told me that I kind of sound good when I sing, but I get shy. I get shy of what people are going to think. So hopefully I get the courage to do that. We'll see. I don't know. I always doubt myself. We'll try to do that. What else is going on? The holidays are coming up, which I'm really excited about. Thanksgiving's coming up. And I'm going to go back to Panama City and spend it with my family. And I'm going to eat a lot of food. And I'm just going to think about all the things I'm thankful for and make Thanksgiving about that. I'm so excited. I love holidays so much. And I literally already have a Christmas tree up in my living room and stockings up for me, Javin, and my cat. All stockings. And I want to start Christmas shopping and putting presents underneath the tree, but I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to be too eager. But I am very excited for the holidays. Anyway, today, relating back to the Instagram that I made, I was having trouble mainly scheduling wise, getting a guest to come over to my house. It is troublesome because I live kind of far from most people that I know because of my recent move. But yeah, I was having, it's not like people are not acting interested. They are, but just like the scheduling stuff, pretty much. We all have like normal jobs along with doing stuff like this. So it's totally understandable. And my schedule is different every week. It's really hard to keep up. So I anyway, I'm like getting off topic kind of already. I posted this thing on my Instagram. I drew this little picture. I've been trying to like work on my illustrations more too, because like I doodle and stuff, but I don't really like take like pencil to paper art drawing seriously, but I'm trying to like make it cutesy and maybe like cool in its own way. I don't know. I don't even think it's that cool or like artistic as I'm like trying to make it seem. But I like drew this thing where it says ask, tell, share. And I drew a little heart around it and like dots around it. It's like the art of a third grader, pretty much. And I pretty much was trying to reach out to people, being like, hey, I want to do an episode on fake therapy where you guys can send me entries of maybe pieces of advice you want, or just anything that you want my thoughts or comments about. I've been in the past doing the show kind of more interview style based on my guest, and this time, since it's just me, maybe I could just fill some time talking to myself and base it off what you guys want to ask me about. It didn't get that many likes. I'm looking at this post on my fake therapy Instagram, and it has 10 likes. Oh my God. But I'm trying. I'm really trying to like market myself and be professional about this. Because like I didn't really in the past with projects before, and I feel like it flawed me a little bit. So I'm trying to take these 10 likes and run with it. And I mean, we'll just see. Let's just not put too much pressure on it. But some people did reach out to me, which was very nice. And I think I got some interesting comments. It was really nice. I mean, it is a personal thing, I guess, to ask, to be like, hey, think of something that you need help with in your life and I'll solve it for you. Because I'm honestly not qualified to do that. What made me think I was able to? I don't know. I think I could give good advice. I'm a good listener. Right? Yeah. So I got a few entries and I'm going to read them now. So one person asked me to give them advice on self-care. Everyone's talking about self-care. What is self-care? Self-care is something that you do for yourself, I would say, to elevate your mood, to make you feel better, and to just give yourself a little bit more pride and love to yourself, and something that just makes you feel good. But at the same time, it has to be something healthy, right? What is my self-care? What do I do? On my self-care day, I'm definitely not at fucking work. That's for sure. Maybe I'll get my nails done or a pedicure. And as superficial as that sounds and as bad I feel about spending the money on it sometimes, it really does make me feel better and like more put together, and like I have some control over something looking cleaner or neater. Yeah, that's something that I definitely like to do. Or like a little face mask or something. Make your skin brighter. Taking care of yourself. Maybe just like cleaning up your house. That's kind of self-care. Like I always feel better when I'm in a cleaner surrounding. And whenever I'm in a cluttered surrounding and I haven't cleaned up my room or something, it really does make me feel flustered and not in a good mood. And I feel mad and annoyed. It really just does get to me. But at the same time, I feel like I've confused self-care in the past with some things that aren't good for me. For example, like self-care, I'd be like, oh, I'm having a self-care day, so I'm gonna stay home all day and like not do anything. That's bad. That's really bad. I think it's self-care in the beginning, and then by the end of the day where I have not done shit and I've just been like a worthless human being, not doing anything, not leaving my house, I feel so bad about it that it was not worth it at all. I shouldn't have done that. Or like, you're like, self-care, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna drink a lot. Like, to an extent, that's okay, but I feel like if you're, like, trying to relieve yourself all the time by drinking and just, like, letting loose too much, that could also be a little bit detrimental and not so self-caring. Self-care might seem at first like you're not going to go to the gym and you're going to, like, give your body a break and just take a break, but you also don't want to, like, seclude yourself and, like, not do what truly is best for you, which is eating right as self-care, and going to the gym is self-care, and getting out of the house is self-care and good for you. Not staying home all day in your pajamas, not showering, and eating Pizza Hut and not working out. You have to take care of yourself, and sometimes self-care is doing things that you don't want to do sometimes, really. But always put yourself first. Sometimes self-care might seem like you need to, like, be by yourself, but don't be by yourself too much. I think that I've kind of, like, fooled myself into, like, getting really overwhelmed in my, like, everyday working, whatever grind, let's call it. I've been so overwhelmed in the grind that I'll be like, I just need to be alone. But I'm finding out that that's really not good for me, and I need to be engaged, and I don't need to be isolated. Once I start putting isolation in my self-care, I think that's when I'm just fooling myself. So, officially, on the record, my self-care is eating right, eating my vegetables, not indulging in bad food and overeating, which I definitely like stress eat and stuff. But self-care is not stress eating, and I should be going to the gym. Did I say that already? I feel like I've said that a million times. I should be getting fresh air, and I should be staying moving and just feeling alive and not lazy and, like, not smoking weed all day alone. That's not self-care. And if you thought it was, you might need to evaluate that a little bit closely. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just saying where I fucked up and, like, thinking I'm self-caring, where I'm just, like, not doing anything healthy for myself. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Self-care. It's very important. Okay. Maybe we should move on to another entry. Okay, another person replied to my little thing wanting me to give advice about ghosting and talking about ghosting. So I wanted to, like, officially look up what ghosting means. And ghosting is when that's so sad. I had to look up what ghosting means. I'm, like, a little old, guys. I mean, I'm 25, but I'm, like, a little bit old. I haven't really been in the dating scene for a while. Me and my partner have been together. Next month or so will be 6 years. So, like, I miss the whole Tinder boat. I miss the whole, like, random hookup boat. I mean, obviously I've, like, done hookups and stuff before I met him, but I met him very young. Like, we've been together 6 years, and I'm 25 now. So I miss the boat on a lot of, like, modern dating problems that some of my friends have. Ghosting is one of them, I guess. So when I looked up ghosting is when you're, like, talking to a guy, you're talking to a girl, and it's, like, all romantic, and you guys are, like, in the talking stage. I hate that term so much, talking. Where it's, like, you're basically about to be girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. So you're like that. And then the ghosting is when all of a sudden they, like, give you no warning and they just stop talking to you. Like, out of the blue, right? I feel like that's never happened to me. That's so bad. That's so horrible. What makes somebody do that? Is it just, like, a confrontation thing? And also, like, are you, like, seeing this person and, like, hanging out with them a lot, and then all of a sudden they just, like, don't want to hang out with you anymore, and they don't tell you why, and they don't even say bye? Or is it just, like, you're talking over the phone mainly, and then they just don't answer your messages? I don't know. I can't imagine doing that. Any time that I have, like, ended things with a person, it's always been, like, I think we should end things. Okay. They know that we're ending things. Not, like, leaving that person wondering. That sounds so bad. I couldn't imagine someone leaving me in the dust like that. That's so horrible. But then again, I'm, like, kind of from a smaller town where I feel like ghosting people would be harder. Because what are the chances that you're not going to run into that person? You would see them, and then you would walk up to them and be like, what the fuck, right? I don't know. I feel like that would make it harder for the ghosting to be successful if you lived in a smaller town and you saw the same people all the time. Ghosting. Have I ever ghosted anybody? I had to really think about that because I don't know. I've been in this situation where, like, I, like, hooked up with somebody and they were like, let's agree. Well, we were like, let's agree to not engage like this anymore. And we never acted like we had done anything. And we weren't, like, talking romantically. But at the same time, there was that agreement. I think ghosting, you don't have that agreement. And one of them just, like, literally turns into a ghost and fucking, like, disappears into thin air. That's weird, dude. That's so weird. I don't like that at all. Are there people that have done that to multiple people? If you've done that to somebody where they're just, like, texting you, like, all this, like, romantic shit, and then you just don't reply ever again or talk to them ever again, to a point, if they don't know if you're, like, dead or alive, you need to apologize to that person. Well, I guess they would, like, keep posting and stuff. I don't know. The whole ghosting thing is weird. Like, why wouldn't you just tell them what happened? If you're listening to this and you have ghosted somebody like that, please apologize. No matter how long it's been since you've done that, you need to just, like, send that person a message and be like, hey, I just want you to know I'm really sorry for how that whole thing went down. I was a fucking asshole. Ghosting people is such a pussy thing to do. And I was a piece of shit, and I'm sorry. That's what you need to say. Oh, my God. Because I've been getting a lot of, not a lot, but it's kind of funny. Like, I've been getting some messages lately out of the woodworks of people from my past who are like, I'm sorry how this went down years ago. I just want to apologize. And even though it's kind of weird, I appreciate it. So, I don't know, maybe we should be doing more of that. I could probably afford to do that a little bit to some people. I mean, I do it too. And I always feel weird doing it, like apologizing to someone that I haven't talked to in a long time over something shitty I did. But I don't know. It shows that you're like kind of growing, I guess. And it shows the effort. Like you need to give that person room if they feel to be like, fuck off. I don't give a fuck about your apology. But, you know, the effort to show that you are showing remorse for something like ghosting a person years ago, I think that's okay. I think that's okay to do. You should try to, like, maybe reach out and apologize for ghosting that beautiful person who might have been the one that got away. Let's not do that. I feel like the only thing that I've done close to ghosting is like, I remember I was like talking to this guy for like a long time. And it was like, do I want to be with him? Do I not? Do I want to be with him? Do I not? And eventually I did not. And I felt like I made that very vocal. And I guess he just didn't believe me. And I eventually had to turn into a ghost and not ever respond to him again. But that's not ghosting. I told him that I didn't want to do this anymore. And I guess he just wouldn't leave me alone. So I just had to, even when it seemed heartless, I had to stop replying to him and just like eliminate myself from his world. And I think about it now, and if I saw him, I probably would run. I would probably run away in the opposite direction. I would still remain a ghost. But I don't know. That's kind of a different story. I don't know. But there's still some cowardness to that, too. I just want everybody to be able to, like, just don't be a coward and don't be pussy and like own up to what you want to do. If you don't want to talk to me anymore, don't even like be fake. Don't even like try to play like you're more romantic than you are. I hate that. I've kind of been in this situation before where like I was dating a guy and he would be such a good boyfriend. Like, he was so sweet and he was like so romantic and like cutesy, like almost corny shit. And then all of a sudden he like didn't like me anymore. And I'm like, why did you fucking act like that? If you were gonna like flip the switch like this so soon. Like, did you ever feel... Do these ghosters really believe what they're saying when they're like being the sweet person? Or is it like fake the whole time? I really don't know. I don't know. Like, what if I was dating now and I was caught in that situation? I would be so pissed. And like, what about the people that have that happen to them multiple times? Oh man, it's so hard. That's so hard. Ghosting. Why do people go ghost? I would just think that, like, if someone ghosted me, that they, like, maybe they have a girlfriend or something. Or, like, they have secrets. Ugh. I'm so tired of these fake-ass people. I'm sorry that you got ghosted, dude. That's so bad. Ugh, I can't believe you got ghosted. That's so immoral. That's horrible. There's just no time for ghosters. I fucking hate ghosters. Okay, moving on. That's all I have to say about that. I'm sick of talking about them. Okay, so somebody else messaged me. Another entry giver says, where do you stand with your religion and spiritualism? Laying it hot and heavy and very serious. Okay. Whew. Let's see. Religion. When I was little, I went to Catholic church, I remember. My mom is Filipina. In the Philippines, pretty much everyone's Catholic. So she decided to like take us to Catholic church, I guess. I remember going to this really, I'm sorry to say it, but it was so boring. That's all I remember. So it was really boring and I hated it. And I was never into it and I felt like I was never listening. But of course, this is when I'm like a kid. Eventually that kind of dropped off though. Like, we stopped going to church and I remember my mom being like, I don't want to force you to go to this church. I want you guys, me and my sister, to choose your own religion and choose what you want to believe. I want to like leave it open-minded so that you can choose to believe whatever you want to believe. I guess that's what my household was like. But I think that she is kind of disappointed because I ended up going with no religion. I'm not religious. Like the whole thing is just like odd for me to wrap my head around and believe. I don't really worry about going to heaven or going to hell at all. I don't think about things that I do that would like send me to hell. And I like don't really like the idea of things that I do or like doing being something that's supposed to be shameful, which in some religions I guess would be. I don't know. Like, I guess I'm someone that if I was engaging in religion, I'd be like a sinner, I guess. I live in sin. I'm not married and I live a very husband and wife life with my boyfriend. And I guess that's living in sin. And people joke about that with me, that I live in sin. And I just don't want to ever feel any shame about any aspect of my life. And I just have to like cut religion out because of that, I guess. I don't know. Why do I associate having to feel shame with being religious? That's probably not the case because there are religious people who are like not judgmental. Not judgmental, but do they do what I do? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have to like feel the need to like rely on a scripture to tell me how to be a good person either. I feel like I have a very good moral compass without having to be religious. I don't know. I feel like when I think about what will happen when I die, I really do just think I'm gonna die. I don't picture myself like going to heaven. I'm not trying to get into heaven. And I'm not trying to like keep myself from going to hell. I don't think about stuff like that. I feel like when I die, I'm just like, it's just going to be a relief and I'm not going to be in this race of life anymore. That's how I think about it. I think it's just over for me. I think it's truly over for me. Maybe I'll be surprised though. But I think whatever you believe, that will come true. I don't know. I feel like someone who thinks they're going to go to heaven, they're probably going to go to heaven. And because I don't believe that I'm going to heaven or hell, I'm probably not going either. I don't know. It would suck though, I guess, if it was real and I didn't get into heaven. I don't know. I think I'm a good person and I don't need that stuff to, I don't know, it just doesn't like relate to me. It seems like a made up thing to me. I just can't wrap my head around really believing that stuff. It's like Santa to me. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Not like you're crazy if you're religious, but I'm just not religious. So it's like weird for me to like talk about it, I guess. But if like I'm at work and this old lady asked me if I believe in God, I would lie. And I would say, yes, I do. Because I don't want to disappoint her. And I don't want her to be mad at me. I also live in the South where it's very Christian. Overall, I guess, people are Christian here. And like when I tell people, if I do tell people that I am more leaning towards being atheist, they like feel bad for me, or they want to like prove me wrong or something. And I'm just so not even trying to get in that argument. Let's agree to disagree at that point. I don't even want to like talk about it. Like, you don't need to convince me to like believe in your religion, okay? And I'm not trying to convince anyone else to believe what I believe. I think that religion and churches could be really good for people who seek some kind of community and like some kind of family base. It's really good for people like that. But I just don't need that. There's not like anything in my life that feels like it's missing because I don't believe in that. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. My mom later said, though, she even confirmed that she was like kind of disappointed that I didn't end up choosing any kind of religion or anything to believe in. And she's like, aren't you like sad about that? That you don't have anything to believe in? And I guess there is some part of that that's sad. But I guess just let me be fucking sad. I don't know. God. But on the other hand, with like spiritualism, it's funny because like I can be like really superstitious at times. For example, my birthday just passed recently. And we were all, I was opening gifts from my friends, from Jake, Stacey, Lane. And I'm opening my friend Jake's gift. And inside of this huge bag, he got me like a Polaroid camera, super cute, with like film. And then he got me this book that's like history of like a bunch of inspirational women in history. That was really cool. And another thing he got me that was part of this gift is a Ouija board. Oh my God. So he gave it to me. I pulled the box out of the bag and I was like, yay. I was so fucking scared. And I kind of like I looked at Stacey and Lane and they were just like, I feel like they also like feel the same way about me with Ouija boards. Like, I'm terrified. I don't want to mess with that stuff. I barely want to touch it. I'm very scared that something of evil energy could be in this board, dude. And I know that almost completely contradicts what I was just talking about, but I was scared, okay? But at the same time, I don't want to like be mean about a gift I just got. Of course, I love him. I don't want him to think I hated this gift. So I was like, yay. And I took it home and I was like, I'm just never going to open it. I'm just never going to open it. I'll just leave it with my other board games on the shelf in my house. And I'm never going to open it. Never, never. So, maybe a month later, I was asleep and I was dreaming. But you don't really know when you're dreaming, so I didn't know I was dreaming it. But this is how the dream went. So I was at my house. Sometimes when I'm dreaming about being at my house, I'm in a different house. That in the dream, it's my house. And I never think that it's a different house. I'm like, oh, this is my house. But this time in the dream, it was my real house that I live in now, okay? So I was like outside in the dream. I was outside looking off into my front yard, and there was a man standing there. Yeah, he was just standing there. And I was like, who are you? Get out of here. What are you doing here? And he like, with no reaction, kind of just like looks at me, and then he just starts walking towards me, walking up the steps to my porch, and like moves me over and just walks in my house. And I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I have a lot of dreams about like home invasion as well. Just adding that. Anyway, so this guy comes into my house, and I'm like trying to dial 911, but like my phone keeps fucking up. Like it won't let me call 911. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? This guy won't leave. But he's like not trying to hurt me or anything or like do any harm. He just won't leave my house. And I remember like me and Javin are like trying to form plans to like attack him or like stab him or something. And it just like won't work. Okay. Like we can't get this guy. And I'm just so distraught. I want him to leave so bad. He won't leave. This guy won't get the fuck out of my house. And I was like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Please tell me. And that's when the man confessed that he was a ghost. And years ago, his daughter, his little girl daughter, was kidnapped, brought to this house that I live in, and she was murdered. And he was looking for his daughter, and he wasn't going to leave until he found her. And I was like, and I woke up shortly after. I was like, oh my God, what a weird, vivid dream of like something that really happened in my house. That's scary as fuck. And also my house is like kind of old. I think it was built in like 1941. So I was like, maybe that's possible. Maybe that happened. I don't know. So I had this scary dream, and I think I had the day off or something. So I was just like hanging around my house. I was walking, and then I was walking down the hallway at some point. I was home alone, and I happened to look up at the bookshelf where the Ouija board is, at the very top of the shelf. And looking up at it, I noticed that the board was open. I fucking kid you not. When I swore I was never going to open that box, I'm looking up on it, and the corner of this box are kind of worn, like it had been used, and the box is now open. When I said I was never going to open it, I was like staring up at that box, and my heart just went boom, like it dropped. And I was so terrified, and I was home alone, but I was even scared to like call Javin about it, because I thought for sure like if I would call right then, being alone, something might happen to me. Like truly, I was really scared. So like the next morning, I asked him about it. I kind of tried to like get out of my head, even though then I felt like something was like really watching me. I felt like a presence or something. Oh my God. And the next day I was like, hey, I have to ask you, to Javin, I said, hey, I have to ask you something like kind of serious, okay? And he said, what? And I said, did you open that Ouija board? He said, no. I said, you swear you did not open that Ouija board? He said, no, why? And I'm like, please tell the truth. He said, no, I didn't. Why are you asking me this? And I told him pretty much how I like walked past and I saw that it was open. I had already told him about the dream, and he was like, no, I didn't open it. Are you sure that it wasn't open already? And I was like, I don't know. But I didn't open it. And I'm pretty sure that Jake wouldn't be the kind of to like re-gift something to me. Like, oh, I'm just going to give her something out of my house. Like, he's a good gift giver. He's going to go to the store and get me a gift. Okay. So I'm like trying to talk to Lane and Stacy about it because I know they were kind of freaked out about the Ouija boards from the get-go. And, they were like, oh, that's so weird, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, do you guys know if he like re-gifted this to me or what? Like, I need to know, guys. And he was like, Stacy was like, no, he sent me a picture of him buying it at the store. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I just had this weird dream about a ghost coming in my house about this murder that happened in my house years ago. And then all of a sudden, like, I see this Ouija board that's been opened and I didn't open it. Oh my God, I'm terrified. It takes Jake days to get back to me. But he confirms that he got the Ouija board from Spirit Halloween. But when he bought it, it had already been opened and used. No. That's still fucking scary. At first I was like, oh, he gave this to me brand new probably. And it was probably wrapped in plastic. And now it's not in plastic at all. And it's been open. I guess it had been open the whole time. And I just was so like hesitant to like go near it or touch it a lot that I didn't notice that it was open until like I had this scary dream that I had in my head. And then I walked past it and it was open, even though it had been open the whole time. But I mean, if it was like returned and it had already been used, that's kind of scary too. Oh my God. So that was like a whole dilemma for like a little bit that I was really scared of. So my point being that even though I'm not very religious, I am scared of like evil energy and bad luck. And I am superstitious and senses that like if I smell salt, I'm going to like put it over my left shoulder. Or if I see a ladder, I'm not going to walk under the ladder because I don't want bad luck. And I don't want like a demon around, why am I scared of demons, but I don't believe in God or anything? I don't know. That's kind of twisted. Like I'm only negative and I only believe in the bad. That's probably not good. I should probably like analyze that a little bit deeper and figure out what my problem is. Maybe I just watch too many scary movies and stuff. Maybe it's that. Maybe that stuff's getting to me now. But we try to get rid of the Ouija board. I know Javin tried to he works through this hotel and he like tried to take it to the hotel and like, nobody felt comfortable taking it. So I'm obviously not the only one. And I don't know, just things that are bad luck and like bad juju. I believe in bad juju and I don't want it near me. I just don't want to risk it. And that ghost was so scary. He was scary. So, I don't know. My answer was a very complicated answer to that question, and I apologize. Okay, let's move on. I had another very nice message that somebody sent me. I want to read it word for word because it was really nice. Let's go to these DMs here. Okay. So I got a message that says, in regards to this, like advice comment thingy, she said, "Hey, Maria, I know we've had a weird past, but I wanted to let you know that I genuinely enjoy listening to your podcast, and I think you're doing a kick-ass job at life right now. It's weird as fuck to listen to the voice of a gal I was best friends with as a child and to hear so many things from you that I could relate to at this point in our very different, very separate lives. As a listener, I'd love to hear more of your story. What made you want to start a podcast? What inspires you? What motivates you to continue, etc. If you had life advice for those trying to make the most of their time and passions, what would it be? I legit remember you being so creative from such an early age and us making videos together, so it's really cool to see you putting your talents to use and creating content that others can enjoy and learn from. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this episode and hope other people are reaching out to you as well. That was very nice of you to say. So, going through all the questions. Yeah, like, thank you for saying that. Thank you for reaching out. That really was the nicest thing that anyone has said to me and regarding this segment. And I really do appreciate you reaching out, like being real. But to answer the question, why did I start a podcast? Okay, so the whole podcasting thing with me actually started because of my friend Stacy. At the time, like a year and a half ago, that was when I was still doing a lot of stuff with Brudder Family. With Stacy and Lane, like making short films with them through Brudder Family, okay? And Javin was doing the videography, and we were doing that whole thing for a while. Kind of slow at putting out content, which seems like a trend with me. We were like doing videos like once a year at that point. Ah, man, that's so bad. Well, no, it's not bad because at least we did stuff. Anyway, we were putting videos out maybe once a year at this point. So we were like, Stacy at the time was like really into podcasts, and she was more of the podcast listener than any of us. So she was like, as an idea to like keep more of a steady flowing content going, she was like, what if we started a podcast, all three of us? And yeah, because of her, we like entered the podcast world pretty much. And that was a lot of fun. It ended up being a lot of fun. I do remember though, we were like, yeah, we're going to start a podcast. We go to dinner as like a meeting, and we're like, what are we going to do this podcast about? What do you guys want to do the podcast about? And it's like we were going from like doing these sketches, you know, we're acting in these, we're editing it. There's like a lot of writing involved and like a lot of planning involved, and a lot of us constructing this finished piece. And we had never done a podcast before, so we were like, what is this going to be about? And we all had very polar opposite ideas of what we wanted to do. And I don't know, I remember at the time being like kind of mad about it because like my idea got shot down pretty fast. But in retrospect, I think it had every reason to be shot down. I don't know. From even then, I wanted to do a podcast where it was more about like getting to know what we're really like, and like kind of dropping the curtain on the whole like comedian, actress, writer thing, and just being like ourselves. So I was like, what if we did an episode where we talk about how we lost our virginities? And they were very, very uncomfortable with that, which of course you would be. And that was probably a little too heavy coming out of the gate, and I do apologize for proposing something so crazy, and also kind of showing my ass when no one liked my idea. That's okay. People don't like your ideas sometimes. I need to be better about accepting that. It's funny now, but at the time I was like upset about it. I don't know why though. We just had 3 totally different ideas, so I don't know. It's like trying to agree on one thing too with like 3 people, and we all have our heart in it. It's very hard to like get a piece of what everybody wants that doesn't conflict with what the other person wants. But we figured out like kind of what to do with our podcast. We called it Brudder Family Podcast, me, Stacey Lane. Javin was recording it, and first episode we talked about like, we just introduced ourselves. We did like a best friend quiz where we like quiz each other on us. And the second episode we talked about just like all of our videos and like the inspiration behind all that stuff. But then, like, we got 2 episodes in, and that felt really good. Like, I felt really good about that. And it, like, took a lot of, like, the stressful parts away from working together in some ways. And I was really having fun doing the podcast thing. Like, it felt really good to be in that. And then the hurricane came, and we all had to move away. And that's pretty much why we didn't do that podcast anymore. 2 episodes young. I'm still really fond of that project, Brother Family podcast. Our theme song. Oh my God. It's the best theme song I've ever made. Man. I mean, hopefully maybe we could do that again. I really don't know. So I moved away to Pensacola, and then everybody else moved. So it's hard to, like, get together again. But, so it's kind of like here and in Pensacola now, away from them, people I used to write with and act with and stuff. And I just wanted to do something creative. And at the same time, like, I so desperately wanted to prove myself as, like, someone who could do a project more independently. That was, like, just me. And there were, like, parts of working in Brother Family at a point that, like, started weighing heavy with, like, working semi-professionally with people that you love so much can be really hard. And I didn't really want that to, like, affect my relationships with people, my relationships with those people like that anymore. I don't know. So I wanted to do something on my own, and I, like, wanted to make my own name out there and, like, kind of stand alone in something creative. So I wanted to do a podcast because that also seemed like something I could do more of just me and, like, not have to rely on, you know, extras and, like, other people learning lines and stuff like that. Like, I didn't really have to, I mean, I obviously have to rely on guests to come and flow through the door, but I mean, it was just less pressure. I mean, but not at the same time, not, because, like, now it's just me and it's only me that fucks up now. I can't blame it on anybody else, really. So I'm kind of, like, standing more independently, but more vulnerably here doing this podcast on fake therapy. But I wanted to make something where I wouldn't have to try so hard, and I wouldn't have to feel the pressure to, like, be funny or act well. I don't know. It was just, like, becoming a lot and, like, expecting other people to, like, have the same form of work ethic as me, and you just can't expect that from people. I don't know. It was straining relationships at a point. So, like, doing this is good for me, I think. But I loved the short experience I had on the Brother Family podcast. Taking a break from doing the videos, but we could still do that later, definitely. I just needed a break from, like, doing videos for a while for my own mental health, honestly. And I was, like, getting mad at people I didn't want to be mad at. And, yeah, so I'm by myself and living in a new town, which was kind of lonely. Like, me and Javin, of course, always, but, like, I didn't really have, like, a friend group where I am. So it's kind of lonely, and I just, like, craved any connection to talk to somebody on, like, a vulnerable level, because that's how I felt. And at the same time, I felt bad for, like, not doing something creative and not putting myself out there, because I feel like people expect that from me and people want that from me. So I feel like I have to do it. Not like I don't want to do it, but I do have to do it. I have to do it, like, you just have to. It's just something you have to do. I don't know. But my inspirations, let's see. I'm lucky to say that I really am greatly inspired by artists that I know personally, that I know, like, what they do to make happen, and people that I could see more of, like, the intimate process of what they do to get their art out there. My best friends and brother family, I think that they are geniuses. They're so funny, and they inspire me for sure. My partner, Javin, he is so smart. He's a genius. He inspires me. He's always helping me to make my shit real. And he's great. I'm inspired by my day-to-day life, just like my day-to-day boring-ass life, just finding any, like, entertainment value in that. Make it less boring, make it funnier, or I don't know, whatever. I'm inspired by people who are self-starters, or anyone that's just, like, going against the grain to be themselves, no matter how, like, wild or gross or weird or chaotic they may look. I don't know. It gives me more comfort to, like, break out of my shell. And I'm inspired by people's struggle. As weird as that sounds, like, I don't want to see people struggling, of course, but, like, when I see, like, an artist who, like, goes through the struggle, starting from the bottom and going to the top, like, that's such an inspiration to me. And times where I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'm never going to get there, like, seeing someone that is going through that I know is so talented, or seeing someone who has even gotten past that and is, like, to me, on a pedestal, I just love that so much. But the people that, like, don't share their struggle story, or don't make it seem like they just, like, righteously were going to be there no matter what, I'm not inspired by that. I'm not inspired by the naturally talented. I'm inspired by the people that fucking, like, worked hard for it. And yeah, I like that a lot. I'm really inspired by that because it makes me want to push through, because I have a lot of self-doubt, and I have a lot of things I could let hold me back, but I keep going. I have to. What motivates me, you ask also? I don't know. I just want to entertain. I think that I think that's what I'm supposed to do. That's my purpose, is to entertain, no matter what form. I've tried acting, and I've tried writing to entertain. I've tried doing videos to entertain. Like, pretty much anything. I'm trying to, like, start this project with Javin, sing to entertain. I like making people laugh. I just love, like, putting out content for people to enjoy and hearing their feedback. It's, like, the best compliment in the world when someone wants to show love for something that I made. And I don't want to go to college. I don't want to be a nurse. I feel like I don't realistically want to do anything that's conventional. I want my job to be, like, something like this. I mean, I know that I'm not getting paid for this at all, and I'm just doing it for fun and for my very small audience that shows care. But I hope that one day that I will solely be working as someone that's entertaining. I hope so. That would be my dream. It's my dream job. And I guess to some extent I'm, like, working at my dream job, but I'm not getting paid. One day I'm going to be like, We need to take a break to hear from our sponsors. Damn, that would be my fucking dream, dude. My first sponsor, I'm going to be freaking out. I'm going to feel like I made it if I get one sponsor. Once again, let's like put this in the world and maybe it'll come true. There's my spirituality kicking in. Oh, man. I just feel the best. Yeah, when I'm like putting stuff out and like I get another episode or like another video or anything that's out there. It's just great. I just feel complete. And my mind has a lot of ideas that I want to put out there. And yeah, I don't know. My mind's going a million miles an hour. I'm just, like that girl said, like I've always been creative and silly from a really early age. I've always wanted to create, and now I'm going through this phase where I want to open myself up and ultimately be my most authentic self because I just want to be real, and I feel like it's helpful to be real. I feel like I've got my feelings really hurt looking at someone that I admire and thinking that they had it all or that they were perfect. And I want my message to be that, like, not everything is perfect. And there is things that we have baggage about and, like, have to get through. And we all have weird quirks. And I don't know. I don't want to be seen as a perfect person. I know, like, no one would ever say that. But I just want to be loud about how I'm not perfect. Because I think that's more comforting. That comforts me, and I want to be comforting. I'm motivated to put my weird-ass brain on display. And, I mean, I have to compensate for not going to college, I guess. So I need to work on my creative stuff more. I beat myself up about it because I should be doing more content. I should be doing these things once a week. I'm doing these things once a month. And even though I'm like really happy with my content, I should be doing it more. I should be doing weekly stuff. And I don't know. I'm trying though. I really am trying. It's just hard. But let's not make excuses, okay? We won't. We'll try harder. We're just going to keep moving forward and whatever that is. I'm always going to be my worst critic, though. I have a long way to go, and I'm nowhere near my goal. Like I said, I'm working towards that sponsorship, and I'm nowhere near anyone wanting to sponsor me. No one important knows me. But, yeah, let's hope for good things in the future. So my advice to anyone trying to make the most of their passion is just to, like, do it anyway, dude. Like, just do it anyway. With everything that I put out creatively, I usually always have some form of doubt and insecurity, like I said. But it's important to me, so it's like someone else will care, right? And dig it, too. Like, someone else will care. If you are passionate about something, someone's going to listen to that and hear the realness, and they're going to love it. There are people out there just like you. That's my whole point. So just put your mind out there. Like, people will appreciate it. And what if they don't? Like, who cares? Just do it anyway. It can be stressful, and it can be hard to, like, stay on the ball of, like, what you're supposed to do to thrive in whatever your passion or hobby is. But you just have to act like it's your passion, even if it feels like two jobs sometimes. You just have to, like, really work at it, okay? And you got to put in the time, and you got to work for the supplies that it will take, and you're going to get better. Like, don't get discouraged that you're going to suck either, because you, like, got to get through the part where you suck before you get good at it, okay? I was really nervous to do this at first, and I still get nervous every single time I get behind the mic, but I still do it anyway, and I'm glad, because I always feel better about it. And it's usually not as bad as I think it's going to be while I'm talking. It's usually not. And, I can't trust myself anyway to like judge my own content because I'm always going to like critique it and, be my worst enemy about it. So I just have to, I don't know, just like put the effort in. So yeah, that is pretty much it as far as the advice I'm giving and the questions I'm answering from my lovely listeners that decided to engage in this episode's activity. I really appreciate it. I love everybody that listens to my show. I feel like I get more feedback from doing fake therapy than I ever did anything else that I've ever put out creatively. And the fact that I'm just being myself, damn, like that makes me want to cry. The people that have like come out of the woodworks to compliment me and just like give me so much praise that I don't deserve over this, it's just phenomenal. Like seriously, it actually makes me feel like I'm doing good. And it makes me feel like I'm like helping people in a weird way. And I'm just trying to give you a break from the fucking bullshit and just give you something entertaining to listen to or watch or whatever you want to do. I've made new friends doing this. People that I could like message anytime and just talk to and feel more comfortable around. And it's really rewarding. I love it. Just know that anyone is welcome on my show. Anyone is welcome to be a guest on my show. Obviously, it's something very intimate because we get into a lot of like life stories here. But we always brainstorm together, and it's more of what you want to talk about. I never want anyone to feel like I'm forcing them to talk about something they're uncomfortable with. If it's a matter of you being scared to come on, please don't be scared because I'm always scared to do this. I'm just a scared person, so don't be scared because I'm already scared. No, I'm not that scared. I'm still ready to do it. So yeah, anyone is welcome. I want people to reach out to me and be willing to share their stories, or I'm willing to share my stories. I'm sorry I'm so slow about, the schedule of when I release content. I will try harder. I love you all so much. My God, I do. Thank you for everything. Listening, liking, subscribing, even just like messaging me and being like, I like this episode, or I listened to this episode, or I don't know, even if you want to like challenge me on something or like critique me or tell me it's fucking sucked, that's fine too. Thank you for giving any response to what I'm doing. It really means a lot. It makes me feel like I'm alive. And just know that you can message me anytime, even off the record, to talk about whatever, and I'll always be here. I love you guys so much, and thank you for listening to this episode of Fake Therapy.